Do you remember your first mentor? Like the first person that took you under his wing and or her and showed compassion for you and interest?
Sure. Well, I'll just tell you the first compassion I ever received by anybody in the Army was I was in a selection process in Second Ranger Battalion. They called it RIP at the time, Ranger Indoctrination Program. And it was this big weeding out process. We started with probably over 100 people and we finished up with about 30 in maybe 3 weeks. Well, I had rolled my ankle pretty badly one morning during training. And I went in to the aid station, and there was this young sergeant sitting there by the name of Stephen Trujillo. And he had he'd just come back from Grenada, and he was awarded the Silver Star, and he was pretty famous. He had been I didn't know all this at the time, but he had been at the State of the Union address and sat next to Nancy Reagan, and they called him out and spoke about what he had done. He was of Hispanic descent, young American, patriot, and all that. Well, I didn't know any of that. I just knew I'm sitting in front of a medic, and he's helping me with my foot. And everybody's at the chow hall having breakfast, and he's sitting there eating sea ration crackers and peanut butter because he's running sick call and he can't go to the chow hall. And so he asks me, "Tell me about your foot." And so I explained what happened with my ankle and everything. And I sat down, took off my boots, and he was examining me. And he says, "Well, Ranger, here's what's going on with you." And he explains my whole situation, and he was treating me like I was his brother. He was treating me like I belonged there, and he was treating me with respect. He was treating me as a peer. And it was the first time in the Army anybody had ever dealt with me like that, because up until that point, everything in training is some sort of a pressure type uh, thing intended to mold you into part of the team. And he was just talking to me like I was like I was worthy. And ultimately he said, you got two schools of thought. You can uh, go over to the holdover barracks and you can, take the Motrin and give it a couple of weeks and you'll probably get a bad attitude hanging around those guys that quit. And you'll probably end up getting shipped off to a different kind of a unit, Korea or whatever. He said, or you can take this Motrin and this ACE wrap and you can drive on. And because, what you've got hurts, but it's not going to cause you any long-term damage if you tough it out. So roger that. So I grabbed it and I took off. And I never forgot that guy. And I've been in touch with him like, recently. And we've stayed in touch over the years. Great guy. So that was the first time it ever happened for me in the military.
For civilians, we don't associate military with compassion. I don't think. I think, the notion of showing compassion is almost would maybe be seen as as weakness.